This is the Brella Community Services Podcast, the Caregiver Series, with Louise Taylor.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to podcast number 3. We're calling this Transitions and Treasures, which I think we all get affected by at some point in our lives when our loved ones pass or we have to move. I'm sitting here today with some really exciting gentlemen. Stan Fryer, our 98-year-old caregiver who's looked after his wife for 17 years. Michael Morgan, a renowned national broadcaster and all-around great guy, and my technician, Tyler Pearson, who's also had the pleasures of moving and upsetting his life and relocating. So we're going to talk about that, but most importantly, I want to talk about that guilt that we get when we're given things that are so cherished by somebody else that are not going to serve us long in the future. And I think there's a lot in that and a lot that we carry around. And so, Stan, how's it been for you? You've lost your wife, now you've moved, you're transitioning again. Um, what's that been like for you? What does that look like for you?
With me,
Yeah.
everything looks great. I'm enjoying life, and I'm enjoying the new place where I'm at. And I have lots of acquaintances here.
Okay. So did you move from your home to a retirement residence? Is that what you've
Yeah,
done?
yes, I moved to retirement residence. Yes,
Oh, lovely. There you'll get lots of community and somebody else can think about cooking for you.
yes.
That's great. Wonderful. And Michael, I know you've moved and I know you've probably moved across the country. How's that been for you? What do you think about giving up things that you've needed to get somewhere else? What's that like?
Well, I think moving is right up there as one of the most grief producing events you can go through.
Ah,
The whole idea of having to pack up the organization of your life and to make decisions about pictures, about old birthday cards, about all things, all of that has a huge impact.
oh yeah.
Frequently, even though those changes are sometimes the beginning of a whole new, better experience, that when you're in the transition, it's frightening. You're
Yes.
letting go of the past with no guarantee of the future.
Yeah, that very true. Tyler, I think you've moved from the lower mainland up into the interior. That couldn't have been easy.
Well, yeah, our move was sparked on by the lovely COVID pandemic. So
Oh, gee.
in our situation, I have to say, if there was a move that I could have that was the least problematic, we were lucky enough that we had set up our home here in Penticton as an Airbnb. It was fully furnished, ready to go for
Wow.
guests.
Wow.
The pandemic hit, and within 2 weeks, we had packed up our home in North Van and left.
Wow.
So it was
Wonderful.
the weirdest surprise move, and then basically all we had to do was to unpack the truck into the garage because we had the other all the other furniture already there. So I
Yeah.
have to say I was lucky. That was if you could all move like that, that would be wonderful.
Right, right. No kidding. And I know for myself that when my father passed away, my mom, of course, did all the right things. She stayed in the house for a year. She didn't make any quick changes or decisions. She sat with her grief and then decided it was time, like Stan, to go and find some community.
Yeah,
And we children were charged with packing up, dividing, and doing everything to help her transition to that. And gosh, that was really difficult. Do you want this? No, I don't want this. Do you want that? No, I haven't got space for that.
yeah,
And it's really difficult because we all hold on to these things that we've seen as childhood memories. And so to say, no, I really haven't got space for mom's china cabinet, and yet I've looked at it for the last 60 years, that's a real tough one.
yeah.
So, I'm sure we've all experienced what that's like. Um, Stan, how did you manage all your wife's cherished items and keepsakes and tokens?
I have 12 grandchildren and 19 great-grandchildren who took all these.
Right.
Wow.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And you hope that you can give your legacy to your grandchildren and not have it be a burden to them.
Well, it won't be a burden. They came and chose what they wanted.
Oh, fantastic. And then did you keep the rest of her things or did you decide that it was time somebody else could enjoy them?
Well, I just put them in a box, and when their grandkids come around, I offer them to them when they come
Sure,
around.
sure. That's great. How about you, Michael? How have you managed
Well,
downside your
I'm not really a good example because just in the shrubberies behind me, I have a rather extensive set of crystal that belongs to my Nama, and
Yeah,
it probably is 120 years old. I
yeah,
never use it. It's covered in a sort of a light grime, and I just hang on to it.
yes,
And so I'm not a rat pack by nature, but that crystal and your remarks remind me that we hang on to these things, I guess, almost so that we ourselves don't disappear.
yes. You know, that's so true. That is so true. It's like these are cherished memories that help identify who we were and where we came from. And
Yeah,
and to give them up is tough. I've got sterling and china and crystal that I still keep, even though I have my own,
yeah, yeah,
because that's what
exactly.
we did.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's really difficult, and I even know that when you go into thrift stores these days, you can recognize what you've had in your home or what was in your parents' home, and you say, "Oh yeah, I remember those things. Don't want them though."
yeah.
It's very tough. Michael, I'm going to lean into your expertise for a minute. Um, Oh, Tyler, before I do that,
Yep.
Tyler, did you have anything you needed to downsize? Or was it just like, okay, we'll have two of everything?
Oh, definitely. We had lots of donations to the Sally Ann and whatnot,
Yeah,
and I think, I mean, we're in a position where like my aunt just passed, and Tara's aunt and her father passed. So, and then we're talking with my parents about all of this in advance.
yes,
So there's quite a I'm very much aware of of all the different intricacies of trying to understand what to do with family heirlooms and possessions, and
yeah,
like, can I take the grand piano that my mom's been playing for 50 years, and how much it
exactly.
means to the family? Like, where could it go? I'm a musician, and so, but can I put a grand piano somewhere? Like, yeah.
Yes, yes.
But and all the different China sets and the history that it goes way
Oh,
back through
yeah,
all the different families. So it's like, I know for a fact I'm getting the Pearson side, and then there's the my mom's side of that's going to my
right,
sister.
right.
But yeah, well, those discussions they're not easy, but it's also kind of nice to reflect
No,
upon the
yeah,
history of your family.
yeah, absolutely. Stan, I imagine you've shared lots of stories with your grandchildren as they've chosen special items to take to their homes, and they'll be able to relay those to their children.
Yes. Hmm.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Michael, I'd like to lean into you and see if you can offer us some insight on how we talk about that grief, change, and that legacy that our loved ones leave us.
You always ask the right question, Louise, and and they're so relevant for me to answer. Um, in terms of how we communicate grief, um, for myself personally, I had a cancer operation 2 years ago, and in the saving of my life and the removing of the tumor, it destroyed my ability to swallow, to chew, and certainly severely impact my voice. I once had a national radio voice. I was
Yeah,
heard on commercials. I have all that. And it just, in one 5-hour operation, I mean, they didn't take my voice box, but they destroyed my tongue. And you can hear I sound like a donkey biting apples through a picket fence. So, having said all the negative side of it, the upside is that I have learned to communicate even better, if I was any good at all, through my ability to write.
Wow.
And I think in so that I don't wax on too long, I learned how to. I used to write from my head because I wrote commercials, and as certainly Tyler knows, there are certain things that you just can't change the rules in commercials. So you're limited and restricted. I shifted from writing from my head to writing from my heart.
Wow.
And when that happened, I found that the words where I thought with my head all the time over the words, and really, it was a big deal for me to write anything because I was always hard on myself and so critical. Now, my heart opens up and delivers the right word. And how you know that is by listening or looking at the responses. And when you see that they're resonant with what you sent out, you hit a very nice note about
Mhm.
writing from your heart.
Yes, very true. Wonderful. So I guess it's really true what they say when you lose sort of one sense or skill that perhaps others become more refined and you compensate by focusing on other ways to manage and cope. And I think that's maybe a lesson in life, isn't it?
It certainly was for me.
Right. I'm going to ask each of you, Stan, let me start with you. If you could give somebody one piece of advice from the wisdom that you've experienced in transitions and in heartbreak and in disposing of or giving away memories, what would you say to folks? Or even in fact, what would you say to your grandchildren, or what do you say to your grandchildren?
I think to me, the most important thing is my prayer life and the prayer life of my grandchildren and my
Wonderful,
children.
wonderful, wonderful.
It gives you a
Absolutely.
lot of security.
And I know that you say that your religion and your faith is all driven from love, and that you get your strength from that.
Yes, I get it from God through His Son Jesus Christ.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Stan. Um, Tyler, is your piece of advice going to be, well, just have two homes and two of everything?
Ah, gee.
Oh, I mean that's just not. No, we were lucky that we had already sold
Yeah.
all of our stuff on the coast. Um, I think so that can you re-ask the question? What is
Sure.
I'm giving advice on?
Like just like how do you manage these transitions so that it like one of us has to be that leader that takes the stress and keeps everybody calm. And so how do you cope?
Well, I mean, I can tell you a couple different things. From our perspective, my wife is so good at just getting down to the business of packing. So
Right?
even when one of us is gone, I hope it's me because she'll be the better, because I'll just not be able to do it without her probably. No. Um, at the end of the day, I know that my Uncle Terry has just lost my aunt just like a couple weeks ago. And in his world, he had a really great group of friends, and they just have been coming over and they just meet, they talk, they work, they cleared out 60 years of marriage,
Wow.
and they've just I think it's just if you have a good group of friends, try to keep them around you if you can. Try not to let go of
Isolate.
your relationships,
Right.
and it's just nice because I know that he has a support group.
Absolutely. Community, we talk about community all the time at Brella, and it is so important not to be isolated. And Stan, I'm sure you're having a ball at where it is you're staying. I'd like to find out offline, but we won't talk about it online. But it's wonderful community, as we're seeing at Brella these days, is making the world a difference to our older adults. And it's
That's
so
so
important.
important.
So important, right, Stan? Your place looks lovely too, I must say. You must tell me where you're living offline, because I have a lot of connections in your
Yes.
community.
Well, I'm living at Whitecliff.
Oh, are you? Well, say hi to Jason for me.
Yeah.
Anyways, wonderful. Thank you guys. Is there something that we can talk about in September? Maybe the changing of the season and how it affects us. What would you like to talk about?
Anybody? Is that
What-
directed, that question?
Anybody? Anybody?
Well, I think one of the things, Louise and Tyler and Stan, that I would like to talk with you, and I'd like all of your opinions, is that from when I was born in the 1950 to now, one of the significant changes that has impacted us all
Oh my goodness.
is the word truth, Truth, and how it has changed significantly from fact. And when you're talking about truth, these are things that you hold within yourself, within your soul. And frequently we smooth them over, especially at times of transition, like as you grow older, or as you have to move into a care facility. As you have these things, it's very easy to look upon those things as change with fear and apprehension, and I'm losing something. And I
Yeah.
think the truth is that it's very important. This is going to sound crazy, but those of you who remember Monty Python, they had a song that, dumb as it sounds, I'm going to try to give you the essence of it, which was, always look on the bright side of life.
Yeah.
And as simple as that truth is, if you can look ahead and identify a landing spot that pleases you, the fear dissipates. The truth is, I'm growing old. The truth is, I need to be cared for. The truth is, I'm not as mobile, as independent, as pain-free. That's the bad stuff. The good stuff is that you still have the gift you were given when you were born, which is the gift of time.
Yes.
And how you spend that time in the moment dictates how you feel about the happiness. And that's the truth. Those are really deep, honest
Wow.
truths that you
You're gonna
say.
give me my marching orders for the next
Well,
podcast.
I
I
guess
got some
the
work to
areas
do.
that concern myself because, as we all know, and I don't want to monopolize, but as we all know, in this current political era, it's acceptable to lie. And
Yes.
there's an old saying about from recovery groups, alcoholics and drug people recovering, and it's kind of interesting. The first lie I tell myself. The next lie isn't a lie because I've already told myself. So the next lie isn't a lie. The first lie I tell myself.
Right.
And that's where we have to be careful that we don't leap to judgment and that to stay positive, just find that one landing spot and everything falls into place.
Okay. All right. Truth, positivity, and staying on course will be part of what we do for podcast number 4. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Have great days. Stan, thanks again for your time as always. It's probably almost lunchtime, so I'm going to say have a great week.
You
Thank
have
you.
a
Have a
great
great
week
summer,
too.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
This was the Brella Community Services Podcast, the Caregiver Series, with Louise Taylor. For more information, go to our website at www.brellasociety.ca.